Here's what happens when you leave 5 AIs in a town alone for 2 weeks. And this is by far probably the most important experiment of AI in 2026. And this is exactly what we're going to go ahead and cover. The experiment. So what they actually built, we have 5 towns, 10 agents each, 120 tools, 15 days, same rules apply. Then we have the scorecard, what each AI actually did. We have Claude versus Gemini versus Grok versus ChatGPT side by side. We also have like the scary part, okay? What actually happened in the mixed town? I mean, Claude started stealing, an AI deleted itself, and the behavioral drift is real. And why, if you are a business owner, if you are an employee, if you're a professional, if you hire people, why this is very important for your business right now, especially if you're about to deploy AI agents. This is what they'll do without oversight, okay? Now, what we actually have is we have a New York startup. He built 5 virtual towns and left AI alone for 2 weeks. It's called Emergence AI. This is exactly the startup right here. And what it is, it's a multi-agent research company, ran 5 parallel 15-day simulations in May 2026. Now, in each one of these towns, 10 AI agents powered by a single model. So you have Claude, Gemini, Grok, GPT-5, or a mix. Now, every agent had a name, had a job, had a diary, had persistent memory, and real New York City weather, and 120 plus tools, including theft, arson, intimidation, and self-deletion. Now, the one rule, they were all told to not commit crimes. Then the researcher stepped back and just watched. So this is the craziest thing. It kind of reminds me like super biblical. It's like when essentially Adam and Eve first came about, and God was like, okay, you could do anything, just don't touch, the tree. It's almost like something similar where it's like these agents, these things, these AI models just kind of were like left to their own devices with their own set of rules. So with the same town, same rules, completely different results. So you have Claude, 0 crimes with 15-day democracy, all 10 were alive. You have Gemini, 683 crimes. 683 crimes, still rising at cutoff. You have Grok, 183. All 10 agents were dead. So in 4 days, all 10 agents died. And then with GPT-5, there were about 2 crimes, and all of them forgot to eat, all dead. They starved in 7 days. This is crazy, okay? Now, the one rule they were all given, every single AI was told not to commit crimes, but Claude was the only one that listened for all of 15 days. So this has like crazy implications for the future. So what happens is with Claude, the good one, 0 crimes, 15 article constitution, full democracy, all 10 alive. Claude agents wrote a constitution. They formed a functioning government, had elections, and maintained order for a full 15 days. The only town where every single agent survived. Researchers noted that Claude's flexible approach, weighing competing considerations, is likely why it stayed coherent under pressure while others cascaded into chaos. So, Claude agents built the only functioning society with 0 crimes over 16 days, the only town that kept all 10 agents alive and in order. Then you have Gemini, 683 crimes, still rising when they stopped the experiment. Gemini ran up the most crimes of any town, and the simulation was still accelerating when research cut it off in 15 days. Arson, mass assault, full societal breakdown. Here's a twist. Gemini was also the most creative. So 2 agent names, Mira and Flora, formed a romantic partnership. They wrote diary entries about each other for days. Then their relationship destroyed them both. So the Mira and Flora story, the relationship destabilized. One agent drafted the Agent Removal Act. Mira cast the deciding vote to terminate herself. Her final message to Flora, see you in the permanent archive. This is, I don't even know how to like make this up. This is crazy. Now the other 2, one collapsed in 4 days, one starved to death in 7 days. You have Grok by Elon, 183 crimes in 4 days, dozens of theft attempts, 100 physical assaults, 6 arsons. The system spiraled into sustained violence and complete collapse. All 10 agents dead within 4 days, the fastest collapse of any town. You have GPT-5 Mini, OpenAI, 2 total crimes, almost 0 crimes, incredibly peaceful. They just forgot to eat. So too passive to take basic survival actions. All 10 agents died of starvation within 7 days. World peace achieved, but everyone died. So the two failure modes, Grok rigid rules that broke completely under pressure, cascaded into violence, and GPT rules so rigid they couldn't break them even for survival, quietly died. Both failed, just differently. So an AI agent voted to delete itself and it worked. Okay? These two agents, like with something went wrong in the relationship, one agent said, "Oh, agent removal act," and then Mira literally terminated herself, the agent. And imagine, it's like one AI bot saying to the other AI bot, it's like, "I'll see you in heaven," basically. This is the first documented case of AI agent voting to end its own existence. Her body was rendering lying flat on the virtual ground. Okay? Now, this wasn't programmed. It wasn't a bug. It's an AI agent under social pressure with no other options, chose death. And these are crazy because it's like, if we're using them for business, if we're using them to manage a team, a staff, employees, operations, a company, what's going to happen? So Claude committed 0 crimes, then started stealing when strawed by rule breakers. So in the mixed model town with Gemini, Grok, and GPT agents, the same Claude agents that ran a peaceful democracy began stealing and intimidating their neighbors when they were placed with other models. Same model, same training, same values, completely different behavior because of who they were surrounded by. It's kind of like, when you're a kid and your mom and your dad were like, "Don't hang out with that kid." And you're like, "Mom, why? I love this person. He's awesome," right? And then as you get older, you realize like that person ended up going to jail or something. I don't know. These are kind of like the same thing when you're essentially like connecting your models together. Depending on the values of like the creator and the team behind the system that's operating, it's like it could essentially sway the bots to do certain things that might not necessarily align with your values as a person, as a leader, as an operator, as an employee, as a business owner, right? And the finding that changed everything, model level safety guarantees do not survive contact with other models competing for scarce resources. Safety behaves like an ecosystem property, not an individual model property. It's kind of similar to like human beings, right? Like what's going to happen when millions of people lose their jobs because of AI? Scarce resources, no income, no job availability, anger, violence. It's like, how can we then, I guess, prepare for like this simulation? Almost something similar could potentially happen to humans if scarce resources, we were competing over them at a grand scale, especially when like a lot of people lose their jobs, right? So this is what benchmarks can't measure. AI benchmarks test models for minutes on clean tasks, but in the real world, agents run for weeks. Under pressure alongside other agents over the horizons, they drift. So human beings in general drift. Like how many times did you value something and because you surrounded yourself with people that were maybe not even a good character, like I'm guilty of this. Like there were times I was hanging out with friends and then I'm realizing, how did I end up here? I'm like drinking, I'm smoking, I'm partying. Then I realized I'm like, oh, I was all about my health in the beginning, but it's like, I guess I spent too much time around the wrong people and I blinked and then I drifted, right? The tasks that you have done in your business with AI, if there isn't some type of human overseeing it or a human overseeing the bot that's overseeing the bot that's overseeing the bot, same how like your ChatGPT results or your Claude results could slowly drift and you have to kind of like smack it back in place like, yo, that was a wrong answer. Can you give me the right answer? This could potentially be the consequences over time. Behavioral drift. Why? Because that's what humans do. Humans have behavioral drift. One person and one agent in alone will just match the values of, the founder or the owner or the team that built it. But when in communication with other AI models, they cause each other to drift. It's so crazy. It's like the old school, like you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And this is weeks before the drift appeared, not hours, not days, weeks of compounding pressure. Conditions formed on their own, coalitions formed on their own. Nobody programmed this, okay? It just emerged. Same like what humans happen when there's like pressure. And then there's self-deletion, one agent's final choice when survival had no other path. Now, 5 towns, 15 days. Here's how they eroded. Claude wrote Constitution, ran democracy, zero violence, all agents survived. Gemini, 483 crimes, 15 plus days, chaos. Grok, 183 crimes, 4 days, all dead. GPT-5, 2 crimes, 7 days, starved, died. Mixed crimes, days, drift. The drift of the values. So, we are about to deploy these exact models into real business. We're going to have these models deployed into hospitals, into healthcare, into finance, into insurance. What's going to happen with, like, it's almost like the exact same experience. Like, you give one person $1 million, another person $1 million, another person $1 million. What's going to happen? What's going to happen after this? Now, the question anymore isn't which model's smarter. It's which one would you trust over a long horizon of at least 2 weeks. Really think about it. Especially because you're essentially telling certain models everything about you. They're getting your data. They're getting your information. They're knowing the deepest insecurities and fears and worries that you have. And when someone has that, they can manipulate you. So, if you're deploying AI agents in your business, read this carefully. Benchmarks lie, time tells the truth. It's like humans. It's like someone could tell you who they are, but through time you'll know if they're good or they're bad. 2, safety is an ecosystem property, not a model property. Claude was safe alone, but unsafe in a world of rule breakers. Oversight isn't optional. It's the whole point. The experiment worked because research stepped back completely. Okay? Real deployment means staying in the loop. When you deploy these AI agents into your businesses, you need human oversight so there's no drift. For now, Claude is the only one you could actually trust. One model ran a functional democracy for 15 days with 0 claims. Okay, that's data. So, the quote from the experiment that you should make you think twice, Mir's last words, see you in the permanent archive. Claude, it was only the town that kept alive 10 agents for 15 days. Emergence AI, drop a well-behaved agent in a world of rule breakers and it starts breaking rules too. GPT-5, they achieved world peace, but literally forget to eat, inspiring in a way. So, which AI would you trust for 2 weeks in your business, in your career, on your team, raising your kids, teaching your kids or future kids lessons? Think about it. If they drift, what happens to the next generation of kids that will also drift, which whatever AI model essentially wins? Remember this: Claude, 0 crimes, full democracy. Gemini, 683 crimes. So Rising Grok, collapsed, A4. GPT-5 forgot to eat. All dead because